What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we need to talk about some pretty significant news coming out of the PC hardware space because ASUS has officially announced upcoming price hikes set to take effect on January 5th, and the timing here is important. This announcement is landing right before CES 2026, one of the biggest tech events of the entire year. If you're planning to build a PC, buy a laptop, or upgrade any ASUS hardware in the near future, this is something you absolutely need to be aware of. According to ASUS, these price increases will apply to select products, not necessarily everything across the board, but they've been very clear that changes are coming. Starting January 5th, retailers and partners will begin adjusting prices to reflect higher costs, meaning anything you see at current pricing may or may not stay that way for long. ASUS hasn't published a precise list of affected products, but when a company of this size makes a move like this, it almost always ripples across multiple product categories. So why is this happening now? ASUS is pointing directly at rising component costs, particularly memory and storage. DRAM and NAND prices have been climbing again due to supply constraints and increased demand, much of it driven by AI workloads, data centers, and enterprise level hardware. Even on the consumer side, laptops, pre-built systems, handheld PCs, and gaming devices rely heavily on these components, and as these costs rise, manufacturers eventually pass them down the chain. ASUS is essentially saying that the current pricing model is no longer sustainable moving into 2026. What makes this announcement especially interesting is the timing. CES is traditionally where ASUS shows off its biggest and boldest new hardware for the year. New ROG laptops, refreshed motherboards, GPUs, handhelds, and experimental tech. Announcing price hikes just days before CES strongly suggests that next generation ASUS products may launch at higher price points than what we're used to seeing. Even if the new hardware brings performance gains, better thermals, or improved displays, consumers may be facing a steeper entry cost right out of the gate. While ASUS hasn't named specific products, it's not hard to speculate. Devices with built-in memory and storage are the most vulnerable to price increases, which means gaming laptops, pre-built desktops, and handheld PCs are likely candidates. High-end ROG and TUF systems, especially those targeting enthusiasts, could see noticeable bumps. Even accessories and components like motherboards could be affected indirectly as manufacturing and logistics costs continue to rise. For consumers, this puts you in a tough but important decision window. If you've been planning a build, upgrading a system, or picking up a laptop, buying before January 5th could save you money. Current inventory at retailers may still be priced under the old structure, and once that stock runs out, the new pricing will become the standard. On the other hand, waiting for CES means access to the latest hardware, but potentially at a premium price. There's no perfect answer here. It comes down to whether you value saving money now or holding out for next gen features. This also fits into a larger trend we've been seeing across the tech industry. ASUS isn't alone in dealing with rising costs, and this announcement may signal what other manufacturers are preparing to do as well. As we head into 2026, the era of cheap PC hardware continue to feel further out of reach, especially for enthusiasts and gamers who want cutting-edge performance. If you enjoyed this breakdown and found it helpful, make sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. I cover tech news, gaming discussions, and deep dives like this all the time, and subscribing really helps the channel grow. And if you want even more content, consider supporting me over on Patreon. The latest Patreon exclusive video is a deep look at 10 underrated classic games you should absolutely replay, packed with nostalgia and thoughtful analysis you won't find on the main channel. Your support there helps me keep creating longer, more in-depth videos like this. Thanks for watching, stay informed, stay gaming, and as always, game on.